To be honest, video hasn't really been important for our church until just recently, right? Like, I'm sure that it's a lot more important for larger churches, but our church is small and rural, and we just haven't really felt the need for it until now.
Before the pandemic, we weren't really doing much, if anything at all, in the way of video here at Life Church. Mostly what we were doing was recording the audio from the sermons and uploading it as a podcast to the website.
Before the pandemic, we were doing live stream. We were engaging with chat, but on a smaller scale. We were just focusing 9:30, getting the service out, showing the worship music. But now, since the pandemic, we've engaged at a whole nother level.
One thing I think people get lost in when we talk about this is video is not necessary for the church. I think people get confused on that a lot, because when you start moving into production, people get really defensive really quickly. I think they get scared that you're going to turn into a movie theater and not a church. But the more ways that we have to portray our message, the better off we're going to be.
The day and time that we live in, it is the way that people get introduced to who you are. No matter what your business or your industry is, that's the way it is. Like, I haven't looked in a phone book for years, but if I need information, I'm gonna search for it. I'm gonna go, usually on my phone actually, and see, hey, what can I find out about that location or that business? And it's no different in the church. We find that the majority of people, before they visit in person, they visited online, typically multiple times, to find out, is this a fit? Is it the kind of place I'm looking for? Can I connect to what's happening there with the music or the teaching or whatever? So it really is your front door and probably your most powerful marketing tool.
Video for churches right now is very important because it's not just a modern day tape ministry. It is how we have to gather during this time. And so it gives the opportunity for chatting, for connecting, getting information out, and also doing what we do in the church, gathering and spreading the gospel.
I think video production is important for churches because it allows people to share in the experience that we're having in the worship center on Sunday mornings. Of course, with the COVID-19 pandemic, it's now more important than ever to sort of take that in-building experience and put it online.
I think it's just kind of intensified everything. Before, it was like online was almost like a afterthought in a certain way. It was like on a Sunday morning, it's like if somebody can't be here, they can watch online. But now with everything going on, it's kind of everyone's only option is to watch online. So it's just finding ways to do the same things we would do in the building online throughout the whole week.
We've seen some good response. We're not just doing sermon videos. We've been doing a Zoom meeting on Sunday at the time that we normally would have done our church service, which is nice because we get to see each other's faces and talk and pray. And that's helped with the personal connection.
One of the ways we at Life Church are maintaining that personal connection is just through constant contact. We use a lot of GroupMe groups. We're using Blue Jeans and Zoom to have online meetings. Really, it's just encouraged us to constantly be reaching out to one another, constantly checking in on one another, whether that be through a video chat or through a messaging app.
There are a lot of different ways that we attempt to do that. It's so difficult with the online platform to tell whether it's successful or not. You can't see people. There's just still that gap. I think even how we just view it as a church and as a congregation, we're not being socially distant, we're being physically distant, but we're trying to provide as many avenues online as we can through Facebook and all of our other online platforms to stay connected to the people.
You know, one of the biggest challenges of this personally as a communicator is the fact that you're preaching to a camera instead of to an audience. For myself, I'm comfortable and I kind of feed off of maybe in some ways the audience interaction. So the first few weeks in particular, like for me as a communicator, there was something that wasn't as rewarding as what usually you kind of receive in feedback to know, hey, did that connect? Did it not connect? It's forcing me to have to think about, how do I communicate better? How do I communicate more clearly, more concisely? How do I take steps to be able to make sure that I'm engaging in some ways?
I learned so quickly how much I don't know about all of this. And I knew that I didn't know, but I think the biggest thing is you cannot be embarrassed to ask questions. We asked so many questions, and Pastor Cody and I like to joke around about it that someday we'll release all the B-roll of you know, the flubs and all the mistakes that we've made and the test runs that we did. But you know, both of us came in with the attitude of we don't know what we're doing. And that's okay, but we need to connect with people who do know what they're doing. And so even with smaller churches, there are people, especially young people, out there who they know technology. And with, you know, a little bit of YouTube and a little bit of time, this is stuff that they can figure out.
I would say just use what you have. I think people are looking for authenticity and they're looking for connection more than anything. And you don't have to have a ton of expensive equipment to be able to communicate that. I think some of the most effective things we've done are just recorded Zoom calls. So I would just say use the things you have, use Zoom, use your phone. Get creative, try new things, and just keep in mind the biggest thing people are looking for is just they want you to be authentic and they want to feel like they're connecting with their church.
Hey, I just wanted to pop in here for a minute at the end to say thank you for watching. And I also want to give a huge thank you to all the creators and churches who helped out on this project. If you want to find out more about all of them, the links are in the description below. Now, as things open back up, video is still going to be very important for a church ministry. If you're a church and you're looking to expand your media ministry and you have some questions about how to do that, feel free to drop those questions down in the comments below. Or you can reach out to us at the Glass City Creative Facebook page. We'll be happy to help you any way we can. Thanks again for watching. God bless.